How was the poet observed nature in the poem Dust of Snow? The poet has observed nature as a healing and positive force. Although he was in a sorrowful and depressive mood, a simple action in nature, the crow sucking snow from a hemlock tree, lifted his spirits. Nature inspired him to let go of his gloom and embrace positively. What is the underlying message for us in our hectic life with reference to the poem Dust of Snow? Or what is the central idea of the poem Dust of Snow? Or what does the poet want to convey through the poem Dust of Snow? The poet conveys that even small, seemingly insignificant moments can have a powerful impact on our lives. The fall of dust of snow changes the poet's mood and makes him realize that the day is not entirely wasted. The poem encourages us to find meaning and joy in simple natural experiences, even during difficult times. What side of nature do the crow and the hemlock tree represent? The crow and the hemlock tree represent the dark, gloomy, and sorrowful side of nature. Unlike commonly used pleasant images in poetry, these symbols reflect bitterness, harshness, and depression aligned with the poet's initial mood. Why does the poet use such a poetically uncommon bird and tree? What does it reflect? The poet uses a crow and a hemlock tree, both associated with negativity, to mirror his own depressed state of mind. These choices reflect his sadness, however, their role in bringing joy shows that even dark elements of nature can contribute to healing and transformation. Justify the role of the crow in the poem Dust of Snow in changing the poet's mood. The crow, by sucking snow off the hemlock tree, unknowingly triggers a positive change in the poet's mood. This simple natural act helps the poet break away from his sadness and see hope in the day. The crow becomes a symbol of unexpected positivity. What mood of the poet is reflected in the poem, and how does it reflect? The poet's mood at the beginning of the poem is gloomy and regretful. This mood is reflected through the use of dark symbols like the crow and the poisonous hemlock tree. However, this setting leads to a moment of realization and emotional relief for the poet. What did the poet think of the day before the dust of snow fell on him? Before the snow fell on him, the poet believed the day was ruined and filled with sorrow. He was lost in regret. However, the simple act of snow falling changed his perspective and revived his mood. Write a note on the setting of the poem. The setting of the poem includes four key elements: snow, a crow, a hemlock tree, and the poet. Snow symbolizes sadness. The hemlock tree represents gloom. The crow is a symbol of harshness, and the poet's mood matches this somber tone. This perfect alignment of nature and mood makes the sudden shift in the poet's feelings more powerful and meaningful. Where was the poet and what happened to him? The poet was outdoors, standing beneath a snow covered hemlock tree. Suddenly, a crow shook the tree, causing snow to fall on the poet. This small incident brought a positive change in his mood. What was the poet's mood? What brought a sudden change in it? The poet was in a bad, regretful mood and felt that the day was wasted. However, when a crow shook down some dust of snow from a hemlock tree, it unexpectedly refreshed him and lifted his mood, saving the rest of his day.